Have you ever heard the phrase, what can go wrong will go wrong? I mean, of course you have. You watch this channel. You're one of the smartest people on the entire planet. I've been feeling lately like the WNBA exists to remind us of this very fact because they cannot, once again, get out of their own way. Everything for this league, despite having the perfect storm, everything that they could ever ask for when Caitlin Clark came in the league, time after time after time, not to be confused with the Cyndi Lauper song that just popped into my head, they get it wrong. They mess it up. And here we have the latest example, and that is the Sophie Cunningham point, which we know is absolutely everywhere. By the way, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate all your support. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. As always, shout out to the 19. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. Truly do appreciate it. Now, before we get to the point, just a quick reminder. The WNBA Players Union. Remember the Dejanay Carrington eye poke of Caitlin Clark? Christine Brennan asked the question every single reporter should have asked Dejanay, the obvious question. And the WNBA Players Union's response is to try and get her fired. Although they probably couldn't actually get her fired. So to be completely fair in the context of this, they tried to get her credentials revoked, which is basically getting her fired from not her job where she is, but from being able to cover the WNBA the way a reporter could and should cover the WNBA. It is just absolutely insane. Well, the Sophie Cunningham point is the latest example in a long list when it comes to the WNBA. They continue to be very, very unlikable, which is going to make it very difficult for them to capitalize on the growth coming from Caitlin Clark, to capitalize on this opportunity long term, because they keep telling us they don't want us. They keep telling us, for the players as well, if you are not part of the club, we do not want you. We do not like you. We will do everything to minimize and punish you unless you repeatedly bend the knee, which we know Sophie Cunningham hasn't done. So, what has this WNBA Players Union done just recently? I am so glad you asked. Why WNBA Union won't monetize viral Sophie Cunningham incident. Yes, this is real. Cunningham can still use her own NIL rights to license her viral point, but the WNBA is reportedly blocking licensees from using the image. This league, these players are so petty, so jealous, so small and unlikable. It is absolutely insane. For the last month, Sophie Cunningham's viral point at Dewana Bonner has become one of the most recognizable memes in sports. Fair. But while the image is spread across social media, the WNBPA doesn't want its official business partners selling it. Now, its official business partners sell a whole lot of other stuff that the WNBA is proud of, but this crosses the line, and their excuse is kind of wild. The Players Union is prohibiting licensees from using the image of Cunningham's point in their products, according to sports business reporter Darren Rovell. I think it's Rovell. Sorry, Darren, if it's Ravel, who said the union called Cunningham's gesture derogatory. Now, think back, y'all. Think of a lot of the things we've seen from players. I have now, it may be in their 30-year history that they've done something similar, but I have never ever heard about it, which I guess just kind of reinforces the whole point of the Caitlin Clark effect. It doesn't. Cunningham pointing, because I tell you what, a lot of people way outside the WNBA bubble have seen this from Sophie Cunningham now, where it is just Sophie Cunningham, or it's been used where other people's faces are put on and this and that, and they have no idea of the original context because nothing in it but is in it but Sophie Cunningham. There's nothing about Dewana Bonner, but that is what this is about. I promise you, I want to read a little more of this, but I want to get into telling you exactly why they did this. The WNBA did not deny the report and said, for licensed apparel, we generally do not feature or look to monetize player conduct from a confrontation between our members. This is the league that is constantly told us how proud they are of being so damn physical, from which so many incidents turn into fights. But all of a sudden, pointing pointing is derogatory, and they don't look to monetize that. The union has dozens of licensed brands from video game company 2K, apparel companies Breaking Tea and Lids, and sports card brand Panini. I promise you, Panini wants this on a card. I'm telling you, especially if you try and make it a one of one, make this a special Sophie Cunningham card where it's literally just Sophie. Again, no other player, nothing about what it was, just Sophie Cunningham on the card pointing, Sophie Cunningham autographing the card. That's going to go for money. I promise you, Panini wants to do that. Now, what's cool and what she should do is Sophie Cunningham should contact Panini and say, offer this idea. Although I'm sure someone there must have thought of it because they're in the business to make money, and we see what they've done with Caitlin Clark cars. The union's decision, because here's the next thing, does not prohibit Cunningham from monetizing from the incident herself, even with brands that are union partners, which I kind of got ahead of myself there. The union has a group licensing agreement with all WNBA players that allows its brand partners to license players' name, image, and likeness without directly negotiating with each individual player. However, even if the union refuses to approve a brand deal with one of its partners, players can individually sign sponsorship deals with any brand. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that's basically it. It gets into a little bit about how, Cunningham, this is being used everywhere. Cunningham was a ring girl at UFC 329, a guest ring girl. It's been a viral meme. It's been used by celebrities, other athletes. A lot of normal people are just turning it into cool little clips by putting other people in there in different contexts and all that. Even the White House did it, and so on and so forth, which is kind of wild. But now let's talk about why the WNBA did this, or I should say, the WNBA Players Union did this. Very, very simple. Sophie Cunningham is not part of the club. Dewana Bonner is the epitome of the club. She checks all of the boxes. And this whole thing in context makes Dewana Bonner look like a bozo. Dewana Bonner looks like a buffoon. Dewana Bonner looks like an idiot. And Sophie Cunningham played her like a string, right? She pointed at her. Dewana Bonner got all up in her feels about don't pointing at me. So Sophie Cunningham said, oh, well, goodness, that shouldn't have been said. And she said not a word. She just, in a very over the top manner, pointed at Dewana Bonner, and Dewana Bonner lost her mind, got all up in her feels, started pointing and yapping and yelling and at Sophie Cunningham and wanting to go after her. And that is what this is about. Sophie Cunningham completely embarrassed a member of the club. And the WNBA Players Union said, no, 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 no. We are not going to allow that. But once again, what they don't understand, because they're always in their bubble, they're always in their entitled bubble, is they don't get how bad this makes them look. The only people who are going to look at this and think it's okay are the people who are already in their tiny little club. This is not going to grow the league in any way. It's going to shrink it. A lot of people who are kind of familiar with the WNBA and in that they've heard about it now because of Caitlin Clark, they don't really care either way. They'll shrug and roll their eyes and go on with their lives. You'll get a lot of people who are trying to give the WNBA a chance. They'll look at this as another thing. I'm like, really? This is what you're doing? This is your focus? Your generational star player who's giving you all these things that you just got and is the only reason people tune in is getting obliterated on the court and you never say a word, but this is a big deal for you? Seriously? Get your priorities straight. Stop being unlikable. Forget about your damn little club. You can have your little club, but it cannot be the focal point of the WNBA and what the players union is all about. That is the problem. The WNBA players union is basically just this social club, but now they have basketball responsibilities as well, and it simply is not going to work. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking this out. Do me a quick favor, like, comment, subscribe. I will talk to y'all later.